A very, very warm, good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel. It's March the 13th, 2025. It's the first non-ISL match day. It is the first day that the Indian Super League is not in its regular season. And yeah, let's talk about Indian football. Let's talk about what all is happening in Indian football today, and what is not happening in Indian football today. As yesterday we saw the exit of East Bengal from the AFC Challenge League. We saw yesterday the end of the ISL with a 1-1 draw between Hyderabad FC and the Kerala Blasters, and that gave us the standings in the ISL. And at the moment, I just wanted to quickly just once more go through the league table, because now the league table is as per the head-to-head, which shows Mohun Bagan Super Giant on 56 points, FC Goa 48. Then three teams on 38, and Bangalore FC, Northeast United FC, Jamshedpur FC, Mumbai City, the sixth and the final team to make it to the ISL playoffs with 36 points. Odisha FC have 33 points. The Blasters on 29 points are 8th. East Bengal FC are 9th with 28 points ahead of Punjab FC, who also have 28 points. Chennai FC have 27 points in 11th position. Hyderabad FC have 18 points from 24 matches. And bottom of the table are Mohammedan Sporting Club, who of course were promoted last year from the I-League with 13 points from 24 games. So that's the situation in the league table as such. And it brings to an end of what I thought was an interesting ISL campaign, to say the least. Now the question is, how do things from here continue? What happens? And therefore, it will be interesting to see what are the next steps. And as always, throw me your questions, observations, other things at me. Let's talk about the things Indian football, or can be non-Indian football as well. If you want to talk about the Champions League, for example, what happened in the last couple of days. Of course, Liverpool eliminated on penalties by Paris Saint-Germain. On the other side, Real Madrid surviving on penalties against city rivals Atletico Madrid. Bayern Munich demolishing Bayer Leverkusen 5-0. Arsenal also getting the better of PSV Eindhoven in a clear-cut result. So a lot of Champions League action as well. The I-League remains very, very interesting as well, with the league heading really to another climax with Churchill Brothers as well as Inter Kashi on 34 points, followed by Real Kashmir on 32 points in third position. Gokulam Kerala are fourth with 28, so 6 off. Looks tough with 6 matches to go. Shillong Lajong and Namdari FC have 26 points each. Srinidrekan have 25. Rajasthan United on 24. Dempo Sports Club are 9th with 22 points. Sporting Club Bangalore have 17 points from 18 matches. And currently in the drop zone, in the relegation zone, Aizawl FC with 16 points. And Delhi FC are bottom of the I-League table with 13 points. So that's the current situation in the I-League. And next match day is on the 16th, on which Delhi FC host Aizawl FC. Yeah, big game in the relegation battle. Rajasthan United host Shillong Lajong FC. And then we have on the 17th, Namdar FC hosting Gokulam Kerala. And the 18th, Sporting Club Bangalore against Real Kashmir FC. On the 19th, Derby, Dempo Sports Club host Churchill Brothers. And the evening match on the 19th, Srinidrekan FC against Inter Kashi. So some interesting matches coming up. And if we just quickly want to go through the I-League 2 league table. I haven't done that for a while as well. Let's do that as well quickly. Currently, top of the table, Diamond Harbour Football Club from Kolkata with 23 points from 9 matches. Second, Chanmari FC with 19 points from 9 matches. third in the table, Sporting Club the Goa, 15 points. FC Bangalore United with 13 points. Then with 11 points, SAT Tirur from Kerala, Niroka FC, and United Sports SC. And in the relegation zone in I-League 2 are Tidham Road Athletic Union as well as Kainau Library and Sports Association Klasa from Manipur, the two clubs in the relegation zone. As we're doing the points table, let's see next fixtures in... Sorry, what am I looking at? Not IWL. I wanted to also look at the points table. And there, East Bengal FC at the halfway stage on 18 points. Gokulam Kerala have 17 points from 7 matches. Odisha FC have 11 points from 7 matches. City FC 10 points. Sri Bhumi Football Club 9. Nita Football Academy 7. Kickstart only 6 in the relegation zone, and Hops FC from Delhi only 1 point out of 7 matches. So these are all the different league tables to talk to, and let's get into the question. Hi, sir, thoughts on starting them was Bangladesh. Vaman, I would like to see what Manolo does against Maldives. Today confirmed that both the matches will now happen in Shillong. There was some doubt on that fact. So for me, that's before I go to the Bangladesh match, I would like to see what he does against the Maldives. And and good evening, Ishan. With India Maldives game next week, should we have a conversation about the playing 11? See, to me, first question is who does he make? My first question about Maldives and Bangladesh games are: does he use the Maldives game as a training game, as a trial game to try out things? Or does Manolo play his best 11? That's the first question I feel that Manolo Marcus needs to answer. And to me, that is a difficult question. The first question is, who is going to be goalkeeper? That's my first question about this game. Exactly. Ishan, who's going to be goalkeeper? I think big question will be who will play right back at Maldives. I think that's also a question that can be asked. Does he, because he has 3 inexperienced right backs in Valpuya, Boris, and Abi Mitay. Now, Abi Mitay, is he right back? I use him as a left back. Do you think Roshan might be a right back? Is Shoshish Bose the sure shot left back, or does he, as he's called up Ashik Kurunian, does he think about Ashik Kurunian maybe as a left back? Is he playing 2-man defense? Is he playing a 3-man defense? Is it, what I would think, is it Sandesh Chingan and Raul Beke as centre backs? Is he looking at Apuya and Suresh Wangjam as defensive midfielders? Is he looking at an attacking midfield, let's say, of Changte, Brandon, and Irfan, and then Sunil Chetri up front, right? So if you ask me, that could be a potential lineup, and I couldn't, so for me, that's going to be the question. There are many questions that's the situation. Hi, Ochut. Welcome back. Good afternoon. So AIFF in a pretty tough situation with the FSL negotiations. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was clear from the onset it's going to be a very, very tough discussion for the AIFF. And to me, I don't know. It's a very, very tricky scenario, I would say. What is possible, what could happen. And to me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're going to do because to me, the question is at the end of the day is, can you follow through the way that you want to follow through? And for the AIFF, there are 2 questions to answer. One is, can I run my system without the support of a commercial partner? And the second thing is, if I think of extending with FSDL, how can I come together and put that piece together with FSDL? So therefore, for me, those are basic questions that the AIFF needs to somehow answer, and they're very tough questions to ask and to answer. So therefore, let's see what happens. Bangladesh FA Vice President confirmed 14 origin players coming to join Bangladesh in future matches. Reflect Dhaka is gone for India. India might finish last on over with no scorers. XYZ. Let them get them first, and then we talk. Let's see what we do on the 25th. I don't think that we should all be, doom and gloom. I think things are difficult, but I think, I know the one other Bangladeshi, and they are not happy with the return of Sunil. They fear Sunil. And Sunil has harmed Bangladesh a lot of times over the years. Let's wait and see what happens. Hi, Blue, welcome back. I don't think FSDL wants a negotiation. They're clearly unhappy with the current AIFF regime. XYZ, what they are, what they not are, what you think, what I think, doesn't matter. I think, in my opinion, that a lot of conversations are happening or people are talking about things without knowing the facts. So there are even other issues in there. So let's wait and see what happens. Do our fans and players realize that ISL may just end very, very soon? I don't think so. If you ask me, I've been saying this for a while, and I don't want to be the one who's, raises the finger, it is a problem. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. I think, if I just think, which is crazy to think about it, but yesterday could have been the day where we saw the last ever league game of the ISL. Just think about it. Yesterday could have been the day where we saw the last ever match of the Indian Super League. Right? So therefore, to me, just thinking about it makes me very, very worried. So therefore, I think this is something which you need to keep in mind. I agree with one of Dulal's statement in his article. People who thought it was easy to market I-League and other trophies will now be in a spot. Truth, 100%. And if Dulal has written that, surely he's right. And you and I know who this message is meant for, because the AIFF tried its best. They got someone like Shachi on board. Shachi is paying them a paltry figure. And Reliance is saying, why should we pay you the figure X if you're saying that the value of the other products is so low? That's the reality of it. Hi, Shaggy. Good to hear from you. Happy Holi also from my side in advance to you and to everybody else. With East Bengal FC losing over both legs and Mohun Bagan Supergiant withdrawal, is India at risk of losing its ACL 2 direct slot? Not completely, because again, the Mohun Bagan thing does hurt, but East Bengal winning in the group stage has helped a little bit at least. But when the recalculations happen, we could be tighter towards just one slot than getting 1+1. So yeah, that danger is surely there for India. FPTL has clearly said no promotional relegation. Where did they say that, XYZ? I've not heard or seen anything on that front. Is 40% share offered to ISL is true of ISL? I don't know where you get these numbers from, or what share, who's sharing what. So as far as I know, no, I don't know where you come up with the 14% number, Rishabh. No, now we would very well know in advance that the league will be shut down. Who knows, XYZ? And so therefore, I don't know. I don't think people realize in general. Maybe we here are in a little bit more of an informed bubble than the rest of the Indian football fans, but to me, I think the generic Indian football fan, I don't think, so therefore that's something which is there. Rushabh answers to Shaggy, if I'm not wrong, next season's spot will have the same, but next season our clubs will have to do better, else we'll drop places. Hope will be FC Goa or Mumbai City because they take Asian tournaments seriously. Yeah, let's wait and see. Mohun Bagan Supergiant withdrew from Asian competition, or is there the Iran match where they did not travel? They withdrew from the competition, so all the matches are lost. So that's the simple logic, right? All 6 matches lost for Mohun Bagan. I would be happy if FSL include I-League 1 along with the ISL and national team in the new deal. Profit sharing is the way, otherwise they have misuse the funds. Palash, I-League, I think, will not be, so therefore, and profit sharing, I feel the word profit is very dangerous because who has made profits in the last 15 years? The word profit is very, very dangerous. If you're saying that I will only share if I make profits, you're not making profits. You're not even close to making profits. So how do you, as an AIFF, I would be worried if they're saying, I don't give you a flat fee. At the moment, is a flat fee. Instead, I offer you, that's the issue here. Playmaker India covered in his video that apparently AIFF was offered 14% share of ISL instead of 50 crore payment. Okay. And XYZ, and there's a pie chart going around also with statement from both AIFF and Harry covered them. And there's been no statement. And this is funny, right? Everyone seems to have numbers, seems to know the percentages. And from my understanding, what I know is none of these figures are right. That's the funny one, right? Everyone is reporting about numbers, talking about numbers. Do they know what they're talking about? I mean, I would even ask Hiren, I would even ask Musa, it's like, do you guys know what you're talking about? Do you have the numbers? Everyone is speculating, starting with that article which came out, which says there was a meeting. As far as I know, there wasn't even a meeting, right? So who knows what is really happening, or who knows what really happened? That would be then my question to those people, if they seem to know what has happened, because everything is speculation. The only thing which is very, very clear is what I said from the start, is that Reliance, and not FSDL, Reliance is unhappy with the whole football business, right? There is a complete restructuring happening, in their sports media business, right? Sports 18 being merged into Star Sports, Geo Hotstar being created. Let's see. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens, what becomes of what was originally the Master Rights Agreement in 2010. Unrelated, but where is Akash Mishra nowadays? Akash Mishra is still at Mumbai City and still recovering from his ACL injury last season. He's still not fully recovered. He's training again at Mumbai City, but he's not fit. In my heart, I don't want ISL to stop. In reality, you need a third party / entity to run the league at the scale that is done. 100% Uchit. If those people who don't understand things still say, you know what, we need to get rid of Reliance and then things will be fine. The AIFF, in the way they organize the I-League, in the way they organize the IWL and everything else, cannot be given the charge of running India's top league. I think that should be the biggest lesson of the last 15 years, right? And the old AIFF under Praful Patel would have also said that. They said, listen, let Reliance handle this. We take care of the rest. And despite all of the problems, all the issues, they were doing okay. Could have done more, surely. There was corruption in there 100% somewhere down the line as well. But at the moment, it is mismanagement. More than corruption, the problem is mismanagement and misorganization, and also that quality people who were there in the AIFF have left or were forced to leave. That is the reality of things. So the question is, at the end of the day, is how do you solve this thing? And that's the question that needs to be asked. And all those ISL haters, yeah, let's theoretically talk through the situation if Reliance pulls out. AIFF loses 50 crores, right? AIFF is unable to run its own system because that money is missing. And we're forgetting that 100 plus crores every year that Reliance via FSTL is spending on running the ISL, right? So we're not talking just about 50 crores to the AIFF. We're talking about more than 150 crores which are not there. So I don't want to be in the shoes of the AIFF and say, guys, how will we run the system? I don't want to be there. Sarah, genuinely don't understand what Reliance gained from the huge investments that they've made over the years. Surely no money and barely any marketing for the group, right? Ishan, surely no money. They have lost. My conservative estimates are they would have lost in the last 15 years about 3,000 crores. Conservative estimate. I would say that the system over the last 15 years most probably would have lost about 10,000 crores plus. Conservative estimates, right? So that's the one. And the marketing for the group Reliance is to who cares? Does Reliance really care? Does even the marketing of Mumbai Indians help Reliance with its business? I don't know. I don't think so, right? So for them, they're big, right? But Reliance has actually done social service to Indian football, and they've been abused for doing that. That is the reality of things, right? They have done things. Have they done it right? No, they haven't. That has to be also said. They've done enough mistakes. But the point here is, at the end of the day, is that Reliance is in a situation where they've tried to change things, but where the system didn't want to change. That's also reality. So therefore, if they leave, in the given scenario, in the given circumstances, it is a loss to Indian football. If the constitution is agreed, would we have new election, and who do you think next president can they become a president? Renal, if the constitution is put in, I think we're heading rather to a FIFA ban than we're heading for a new election. Theoretically, yes, there should be an election, and who can become president, I don't have a clue. Whatever funds AIFF has, it trickles down to state affairs, and state affairs have their own budget funded by state governments. AIFF gives some money to the state affairs, right? But the state affairs, at the end of the day, also have to fund themselves, right? So they generate money themselves in some sort of form way, but also they also grants and other things. So therefore, from that perspective, it is not an easy calculation to do, but it's not just how it is done, right? I mean, if I look at it, how the AIFF calculated, for example, the strategic budget plan is still online on the AIFF website for 2014 to 17, 18, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18. Is that yet? They were trying to run in 14, 15 with 51 crores and then 62.7 crores at the time, right? For a strategic budget. And there's a certain cost for the management of the AIFF, which is understandable. They were giving grants to state associations, grassroots, youth development, coach education, referee development, national team, women's, national team men's, I.e. competition, logistics. And logistics is something which is not mentioned at the time because logistics are actually grants to teams, right? So therefore, there are certain things which can be looked at, but not easy. Let's hope that the possible closure of ISL start the domino effect on football already down. ISL closure and the possible FIFA ban cause of constitution might be the final nail in the coffin. Ishan, I hope not, but yeah. What mistakes do you think FSDL made? Rishabh, they made one mistake, which I said to them in 2014 when we were sitting in one of the few, if not the only real board meeting of the ISL in 2014 in August, when I said in front of everyone, we need to ensure that the quality on the field is good, and we need to enhance that quality over a certain time, and that's the biggest mistake. If the quality had improved, and that means the quality of the Indian players, the national team would be better, and overall the quality would be better. And that is, I think, at the end of the day, my problem with this whole discussion points that we're having. That is, to me, that's the mistake. And by that also, but then the broadcaster would be willing to put in money, and that more fans would be watching. And that is a vicious cycle. If the quality on the field is better, you would have more fans. That would generate interest with television channels, broadcasters, as I say, and with sponsors potentially as well. And that's where we're struggling. Everybody loves to blame AIFF for Reliance, but nobody talks about those inflated salaries that these mediocre players are getting. Sooner this bubble bursts, better it will be for everyone. RS, very, very valid point, which I've said also many, many times, that I think if you could reduce the salaries by X in the ISL, you could reduce the overall losses, right? And that's a fact, and no one has been able to change that, and that's a very, very dangerous thing with those inflated salaries. Looks like ISL is also a passion and social service activity for Reliance, like the wildlife rescue set that there was in the news lately. In some sort of form or way, yes. I think let's put it this way: when they came in 2010, they wanted to make it a commercial success because they didn't want to pay the AIFF 50 crores. I think their projection was to give back more money to the AIFF, but they never got to that stage. Look at the situation of hockey players. These ISL players should be grateful to these owners who are paying huge salaries while taking losses. RS, even the hockey players should be thankful. Again, in a different level, but Indian hockey players are professionals. Elsewhere in the world, are amateurs. By the way, did you see Alvarez's pen in the shootout? Was that a double touch? Is it conclusive enough? Blue. I've looked at it multiple times. I don't know, even with slow-mo, I don't know how that VR referee can say that's 100% a double touch. I could not say that, and I understand that Simeone, I don't know if you've seen that post-match press conference, how angry he was with those journalists, because to me, for the VR to step in and say this was a double touch at this stage of the game, of a penalty shootout, and again something with that referee who last season ensured Bayern Munich were thrown out of the Champions League. I don't know if the football god is a member of Real Madrid or something, or something else, but it's very, very dubious, to say the least, because I think a former German referee said that today. I said, even if it was, then you need to work on the rule. If it's an intentional double touch, it's something because he slipped. And did he touch it? Nobody knows if he touched it. I would, if you ask me, I wouldn't be able to tell you if there is a double touch from Julian Alvarez on that one. No chance that I would be able to tell you. Doesn't start the wind effect. I mean, yeah. Session, when state FA is well funded by its state government. Doesn't have to be. They can also raise money themselves. The Mizoram Football Association, of course, for example, gets money from the state government, but they also have been able to sell the media rights for the Mizoram Premier League. They have sponsors for their grassroots and youth programs. Yeah. Since the ISL season is over, according to your opinion, which was the best team, the biggest overachievers, the biggest underachievers, and the worst team? Let me go through the table. Best team, I would say, if I look at the games towards the end, would have been FC Goa. I think FC Goa was the best team. I think Mohun Bagan won due to individual brilliance. Biggest overachiever have to be Jamshedpur FC, to me. I would have never thought that they're a top 16. The biggest underachiever, yeah, pick your choices. Blasters, East Bengal, Chennai, one of those three. And the worst team, yeah, Mohammedan Sporting. Right? That would be my summary. I don't know why Bajaj always criticized Reliance. We are still mid even before they came. I think they had done a lot of important things for the system, right? Yeah, but I don't know what his problem is. By the way, what a goal by Saurav yesterday. Saurav most probably scored the best goal of his career, and he's still young, right? I mean, that was insane. That's why I've also used his celebration photo. Would something like FSL grant of sorts, if you're close to each ISL club, improve the quality on the pitch? No, because they'll spend it again on players, and they'll most probably inflate the salaries of the players even more. And they're already getting from the central sponsorship pool, money is flowing to the ISL clubs. I feel losing a sponsor like Hero was a big jolt for all the football ecosystem CEOs. Went with inflated salaries of players to their owners who paid up. Never should have been given such amounts. I mean, Hero, let's be honest about it. Hero moving out after season 9, it was coming. And the Munjals themselves are facing certain financial issues or certain regulatory issues. That's one. The salaries are an issue across the board. So that is something. The problem is if you're going to be paying market value salaries, which you think is appropriate, you would most probably be playing I-League salaries in the ISL. And you should be paying, I don't know, I-League 2 or maybe I-League 3 salaries in the I-League. But is anyone going to do that? I don't think so. Right? That's the challenge. If the salaries paid are appropriate and agents are handled properly, unanimously similar to what KBFC is doing, the clubs could incur less loss. Shumadri, yes and no, because even the Blasters are paying salaries which I feel are too high. They have reduced their losses, but they see the Blasters with one of the biggest fan base are unable to challenge for the title. And of course, the Blasters being the Blasters also have more sponsors than most other teams. That's also a fact. But they are still losing money. Kerala Blasters are interested to sign Molina for Monmouth Supergiant. Your opinion regarding it is possible Molina has a 1-year extension clause which has already been activated. So Ravan, I'm a little surprised that this whole Molina Blasters thing cropped up in the media, because I thought that Molina and Mohun Bagan is going to stay for another year, and therefore, again, it seems to me that the Blasters now, until they appoint a new coach, I think a lot of coaches will be mentioned. We've had the time where, it looked like Sergio Lobera would be becoming the coach. Then there was the time where people said, listen, Ivan Vukovanovic is going to come back. Then they've had the phase where now they're saying, oh, you know what, they're trying to go for the big solution, and the big solution is the ISL League champion. So therefore, yeah, these are all, I don't know, speculations, and I don't know if it would work, but it's interesting. And why if I don't use chip inside the ball to check touches, using video is very subjective. Another reason not to use VR. I don't know if the chip on the ball really would have ensured that you would know that there was a double contact or there was only a single contact. I don't know if the technology is that good at the moment. In UEFA Champions League, everything surrounding Real Madrid is dubious. It could have been a retake as Alvarez slipped and was unintentional. Atletico Madrid played far better than Real Madrid. Yeah, Jumadri, nothing more to add to what you say. FSL could have created a better model. It's a mixture of MLS and IPL, right? Surely there were conflicts with I-League. Apart from that group, hey, should have regulated player salaries, might have reduced losses. Rushabh, it's a mixture of an American listen, the original thought of the ISL was, again, at the planning stage, to create a league in India which has the franchise model of the American pro leagues. MLS, where it is today, was nowhere near where it is today. It was in 2012 and 13. So that's one. So let's say NFL, NBA, and the English Premier League. And on top of that, you've got the Indian masala angle, which is IPL. The players' salaries were regulated, right, with a 16.5 crore salary cap. And I remember in season 1, I had players who, because it was the first season, I was able to sign 2 players outside of the salary cap, right? And that worked. But that was 2014. So that 16.5 crores sounds a lot, but has not grown. So therefore, for example, Mohun Bagan, to keep him outside of the salary cap, signed Anwar Ali on loan. Because that money, so there are a lot of loopholes which were there. Or I could say, listen, I am paying you, let's say 1 crore in salary, and one of my companies or one of my friends' companies gives you a 1 crore sponsorship deal. You could work around it. So this is not America. That's the problem. Hi, SCT. What happens if Churchill Brothers win in I-League? They will have to prove if they can have the financial means to play ISL. And the second thing is, that's the first question. Can they play ISL? Can they raise the money? We've now had East Bengal in trouble financially multiple times over the years. We've had Hyderabad FC, and we saw Mohammedan Sporting, right? So interesting. What do you think is the future of Hyderabad FC? Pranjal, to me, they will want to switch to Delhi. The question is when. I think the BC General Group will want to make it, so that's the thing. The biggest mistake by FSL is not being transparent about player salary. Blue, they've tried. I know that. But there needs to be a will and desire by the clubs as well. I missed the match between East Bengal and Arkadak here. East Bengal played really poor due to fans' reactions. Zoravar, I wouldn't say they played poor, but it was, if you want, watch my watch along from yesterday. It was as if it was it was the script that couldn't have been written better, right? And I could, again, most of the things that happened were very evident, right? I said, and if you see, again, watch 3 videos. Watch the one watch my preview, watch my live, and then watch my analysis. And it's a puzzle which you can put together. And East Bengal score early, 11th minute, Lalchung Nunga gets a yellow card. And from that 11th minute, Lalchung Nunga was waiting to get a red. 18th minute, he could have been sent off. And watch where you see me as like, Oscar, take him off. Take him off. You got to lose him. And it exactly happens. And after 70 minutes, I say, East Bengal is running out of steam. In the first half, they had one of their chances. Diamantakos that one move was brilliant, where he beats 2 players, hits the post. Richard Sellis could have had a goal as well in the first half. But after 70 minutes, East Bengal looked tired, looked finished. And I said after 70 minutes, they are going to concede. And it was the script like the BFC game, took a lead, conceded a card, late penalty, draw, and then, of course, they tried everything, but Arkadak then scored a second, could have scored a third even. So, yeah. The match was lost in Kolkata. And the Kolkata was poor. Yesterday, they gave them a fight. They tried. But the worrying sign was over those two matches that the players from Turkmenistan are tactically better, technically better, and they play with football intelligence to some extent. They just don't have finishing. That's their biggest problem. Otherwise, over two legs, they could have scored, I don't know, 6-7 goals. That's the only thing that missed. Is Pereira Diaz out of rest of tournament? SCT, I don't know. There's supposedly he was injured and there's a problem with the coach. So let's see if he's back in the playoffs. Did Halusi play their last match? Yeah, Vijay, they've played. I don't know where they're going to play next season. If ISL had a sponsor, would it make it less losses for the club? So theoretically, yes, because some of that money goes into the central pool. But again, we're talking small money, right? For clubs who are spending 40, 50, 70, 100 crores, even if someone comes in and becomes title sponsor of the ISL, how much are they going to reduce the losses for the clubs by? I don't know. By a crore? If got a lot, maybe by 2. Has any player who has largely amateur played earlier and got scouted in college made it to national team? I know it was one. Are there other examples? Look at Sahal. Sahal was in a college and then moved into Blasters and then the national team. Yeah. If a club refuses to overpay anyone, how can it adversely affect them? Lack of quality. Obhijit, lack of quality. You will not get the players you want. Hypothetically speaking, if Kerala Blasters goes on to win win a title, do you think it can improve the Kerala football ecosystem largely? For Renal, I don't know if the Blasters winning a title will change the ecosystem in Kerala football. I don't know. I don't see that connection. So I would say no. If we use more than one main referee, will it improve the accuracy as well, reduce the labor of one referee? Abhijit, you have that in a number of sports. You have in field hockey, or I see it in handball, ice hockey, you've got 2 referees. Could be a thing, but in football, you actually have not one referee, but 1 referee and 2 linesmen or 2 assistant referees. So I don't know. Zoravar says if Kerala Blasters FC go for Molina, I think they have to have FT transfer fee to Mohun Bagan. I think, to honest, in my opinion, will be a disaster. Signing by Kerala Blasters FC depends on individual brilliance, which won't work at Kerala Blasters FC. I do agree, Zoravar. The Blasters don't have that level of players to be able to do something. Financial fair play in American sports, which their system is built on that, right? They even out with the draft system and other systems. They restrict their teams in regard to spending. They don't like to have super clubs like we have, let's say, in European club football. Every club theoretically can win a title. Did you enjoy this year's league stage more than last year's? I think in this edition there were less breaks, so there was a good momentum throughout. Ishan, the problem for me is that I watched too much of ISL, I felt, this year, and the quality this year was not good. Yes, I'm a little biased. Last season, of course, Mumbai City, was up there and fighting for it with Mumbai. I found last season's title race very, very exciting. It was going this way, that way. I felt this race, I said it in late December that Mohun Bagan's going to win it, and I didn't change my opinion. So therefore, I felt that this year's race wasn't as close or exciting that it was last year. So therefore, that's that's it. Nearly 45 minutes. Those of you who are watching who haven't so far, liking the conversation, you want to, give it a like. 11 likes so far. Share it with other people to potentially join in. And if you want to come back regularly to the channel and watch videos, we're at 2,360 subscribers. Thank you very much. Slowly but cleanly growing. And also the short videos that I made something last evening about East Bengal regarding, losing to Arkadag. AIFF Reliance is something which I did, to have a future together. Indian national team strikers, what does it take to win Indian national team striker? Meghalaya's investment, Sunil's comeback, a lot of other things. And I'll start a series maybe tonight or tomorrow in regard to looking at a little bit more detail of how teams did this season in the ISL, and then also, of course, talking about the ISL top six. Oh, by the way, I know this is a stupid question. Why can't referee just rewind what happened if VR is too expensive? Some decision can be changed using that, right? But VR is rewinding in that way, right? VR is giving you details. From video footage, a lot of things you will not be able to see. You need VR happens with specialized cameras. I think you should do a slightly longer video on ISL, what was planned initially and how it has ended up. Let's see what the future is, if there is a future or not. Let's talk. I've raised those questions. If you see, I've also made a video a while back where I asked the question about 3 weeks ago: does the ISL have a future? I did raise those questions. I've raised those questions. Given those insights. There are a lot of these videos. Look at the older ones. There's a lot of interesting insights that I've tried to give. And just have a look at them. Do you know who started that futsal league with Ronaldinho? What was the idea behind it and why it failed? RS, yes, Premier Futsal. I know the guys behind it. Wanted to make a quick buck on futsal. Thought that they can do it. Bring superstars. I think Ronaldinho and Ryan Giggs were the biggest names. Totally bombed. Had to go to Dubai as well. Too much of cost. No chance of recouping. Any upcoming talents from big Kolkata clubs? Is this Ravi Hansta guy? Got promise. Ravi Hansta, not sure. Let's see. Give him time. And talents, I wouldn't be able to tell you at the moment. Carabas is going for Molina is spread by the same media who said they're going for Lobera, their management's PR. Seems like it, no? Blue? How many foreigners Arkadat played? None. It was a team fully made up of players from Turkmenistan. I think the issue with East Bengal in the past few years is their management crying wolf in order to save their A. It seems that the club is managed by agents who make profits by pushing their players. It's not managed by agents, it's managed by the people, the club management. East Bengal has not realized it's a big club, right? It's a big entity, but it's a small fish in the ISL. Last summer, they spent big and they thought, now can we challenge Mohun Bagan? They didn't realize that they didn't look if do these players really fit together. They didn't look at the bench, and let's wait and see if they learn, but I don't think so. Game sense of East Bengal players are very poor. 5 reds for Lal and yellow for Messi was unnecessary, to which he could not challenge outside the box, and the penalty could have been avoided. Yeah. I mean, Lal Chununga and his red cards is becoming a ridiculous story. I think, in the long term, I don't know if coaches will actually play him. How much money did Hero give as part of the sponsorship? I think the overall package per year was 50 crores for ISL, I-League, IWL, and national team. I think the biggest mistake of FSDL was not pressing AIFF for developing grassroots despite receiving 50 crore per annum from them. Zoravar, it is not the job of FSDL to press AIFF to do things. FSDL's job was to market the league, market Indian football, promote Indian football, get into Indian football into broadcast. And on the other side, it's the job of the AIFF. And so I don't think that's their, Ramlal Chunga shouldn't play for ISL team. Okay. Problem with Indian football not showing positive instead of disappointing in media transmission or something else. Morali, let's wait and see. Right. How is your local team doing? Pranjal, they are third in the table on points, same as the second place team, FC Remscheid, and the team ahead of them, the top team is 3 points ahead of them. So the top 2 are likely to go up. So they are fully in the promotion race. I personally think whatever great performances from Indian clubs rest on the shoulders of the foreigners. I personally am quite idealistic when it comes to sports. So process matters, no respect. East Bengal, says Avijit. Okay. In my opinion, the biggest overachiever this season was Northeast United, not Jamshedpur FC, despite having among the least valuable squads to have finished in top four as an achievement. Jamshedpur FC was similar to Mohun super giant. Yeah, but if you look at that way, then you would say, if I take Alauddin Ajare out, they wouldn't have even, let's see. Too much dependence on individual brilliance, dependency. Yeah, too much dependence on individual. That's the problem. I don't know what to say now. Every time we get a chance to do something in Asia, we spoil it. Is East Bengal going to AFC Champions League was good in your opinion? Aditya, they won the Super Cup and they qualified. So so it's not for me or for you to say is it good or bad. They qualified on merit and they were there. Zorawa says, watch out for Rajdeep Paul and Rohit Barman from Mohun U15, top 2 in goal scoring sheets in U15 league. Zorawa, let's wait, right? Very, very far away from senior level football, I think. As a Northeast United fan, more than cup, nurturing of Northeastern players is what matters to me. Big Kolkata clubs are basically job opportunities. Get a good paycheck, not much respect for them. Okay. At this stage, I don't even care. FSL should just buy every AIFF position and do corporate lobbying. Not happening. I feel so depressed. I wish this whole AFC Challenge League thing could have been come a year ago and OC could have faced Arkadak instead. We got the Australian Central Coast Mariners. What a brag. But yeah, I always wondered why Sanjay Sen didn't get any job in ISL. Heard he didn't have pro license in his 2015 and 16 Mohun side were playing good football, especially the AFC Cup run. It was the best in my opinion. Yeah, but yeah, it is. Is the trust there for an Indian coach to do it? What about the Kerala Blasters coach? Ivan and Lobera are in the final round, says Sports Pages. Pradeep, I wouldn't want to bet or speculate who's going to become Blasters coach at the moment. I think it's an open thing. And therefore, let's wait and see what happens. But and Zorawa says this, Molina is the latest target, so let's see. And therefore, let's see what the Blasters do. Maybe it's something totally different than being discussed at the moment. And that's going to be the question for the Blasters. Sorry. Tema, what do you see when you look at the ahead path? The path ahead, Aditya, a lot of challenges. Indian football is facing a very difficult phase. And to me, the question is, can the issues, can the problems, right, be solved and sorted? So to me, that's the real challenge. Can the issues that are there, and again, we all know that there are issues in Indian football. Can those issues be taken care of? Can those issues be mitigated to grow the game? So, yeah. Kerala Blasters are going for a high-profile Italian coach. It's a small patch of info which I got. Okay, Aditya. Unlike though, as according to inside reports from club officials, Mohun Supergiant are planning to extend Molina's contract to 27-28. That Molina is supposedly staying at Mohun Bagan. I thought that was sort of formally done because there's that clause in his contract. So therefore, I don't know. As a Mohun Bagan fan, I would rather want a better coach to lead Mohun Bagan in AFC Champions League 2 next season rather than Molina. What's your opinion? I don't know what to expect from Mohun Bagan in Asian competitions. To be very honest, I don't know if the coach is the issue or if the team is the issue, if the players are the issue. Mohun Bagan, sorry to say that to all Mohun Bagan fans here, but Mohun Bagan have been a disappointment in Asian competitions over the years. So therefore, and let's say worst case scenario, you have to face Al Nassr. That is about trying to save your life, right? And Mohun Bagan competing with Al Nassr, you know, don't know. Also, Derek Pereira, he got a chance for under 19, under 20, or under 20. I don't remember. His team played some decent football even without proper camp. Like, play competition was also decent. He could have done better had he got time. Yeah, but see, Derek had his time. His time was actually 20 years ago at Mahindra. That was his best phase. But even before that at Vasco Sports Club in the NFL. Yeah, but where could these coaches take it, right? Among the ISL clubs who, according to, is doing best grassroots, Bangalore FC, FC Goa, Kerala Punjab FC, I want to say, Triple FC and others also, but according to me, they can do better. I think if the clubs you've named, from what I know, FC Goa, I would say, right? Can we get someone like Hugo Boumos in ISL, came here at the age of 22? Yeah, why not? I think they're always possible. It just depends on the coaches and the guys who are managing the clubs, if they're able to attract that kind of a player at the right age. That's the challenge, right? John Duran will destroy Mohun Bagan Super Giants, says Aditya, if of course they have to face Al Nassr. In my opinion, Des Buckingham would be ideal for Mohun Bagan Super Giant. Attacking minded, can develop youngsters. Yeah, Zunavar could be, but what you are forgetting in this whole praise of a Des Buckingham in the first season of Mumbai City didn't qualify for the playoffs. A lot of people forget that, right? So Des, you know, so therefore for me, I don't know if Des is, is he in a different way. We saw now Peter Kratky came in, took the team to the ISL Cup, and the second year he's struggling. So therefore, yeah. Who will this year's Super Cup? Punjab, let's see the draw of the Super Cup. Let's see what kind of teams, what kind of first 11s the clubs put out there, and then we can have a conversation. At the moment, too far away to discuss, and let the ISL playoffs finish, and then see. I'm Mohun Bagan satisfied with Molina. Pradeep, I think you have to differentiate between Mohun Bagan as a club, I think, or Mohun Bagan Supergiant as a club are happy with Molina, more than happy with Molina, I would say. But I think the fans aren't, right? Because they're not liking the style. But so difficult question. Hi Akash, I'm doing fine. I don't know why, but I too don't like Molina like most of the Bagan fans. Yeah, that's my thing, right? I think the management is quite happy with him because he got them the result that they wanted. And on the other side, the fans want a different kind of football. At what age ISL club should be signing foreigners, in the 20s or 32 plus? Rishabh, I think the age of a foreigner doesn't matter. I would think that if you can get a player, he could be young and talented, or you get experienced players. So it could be at both ends, right? Do you think when India play outside, decision of referees are always against India, irrespective of the club's national team, and had that not to win them? No, I don't. Kishore, to me, that is something which is I've heard a lot of times, but no. I mean, I've seen matches where decisions have gone India ways and have gone against other sides, so club sides or national teams. So no, I don't think so. Confession has come about Maldives match at Shillong, but what about their traveling issues? That supposedly has been taken care of. That's why Maldives are traveling to Shillong. Good grassroots, what's the meaning of it? No, I said side has any good grassroots if the players still lack basic techniques abilities. It's a grassroots failure. Yeah, I think Zoravar, to me, good grassroots is to have grassroots, right? So why Blasters play at JLN Kochi? It's a very risky stadium. It needs repair urgently because that's their home, and the Blasters and their fans love it. They don't want to play elsewhere. Did Odisha FC made a mistake signing Lobera when they should have gone for a coach who would have focused on youth development more than like Ivan and Manolo instead of someone who would bring his old players? You could see it this way, you could see it that way, Aditya. You don't know if Ivan would have worked or if Manolo. Ivan to me has failed at the at the Blasters, right? And Manolo, yeah. So could be this way, could be that way. How would you rate Hyderabad FC's season? I think there are potential in the squad. Mar, Rabi, Arshdeep, Joseph, one may big one day. Ajax Sachi could have done better. Obviously, it's a failure. And you've mentioned those players, maybe big one day, but maybe big one day doesn't help me. You know, all these players had chances last season. Um, you know, and Alex Saji to me is a very good example of a player that a lot of people were speaking about last season, but he's also mistake prone. Don't know if this has been answered before, but is there any reason why the ISL Cup winners cannot get an ACL 2-3 spot? Is there any AC rule regarding this? Ninal very simply said, around the world, if you get continental slots, normally the league winner gets the slot. So in this case, the League Shield winners, which is Mohun Bagan Supergiant, they get the India slot. And the second slot that you get normally goes to the cup winners. So therefore, from that perspective, East Bengal got the slot as the Super Cup winners. Before that, Odisha FC got the slot as Super Cup winners. So therefore, that's why it is. If East Bengal players have some shame, they will not blame the refs in both Arkadak leg. I don't think any of the players have said anything. It's the club officials and fans. What are your thoughts on AIFF versus FSTL? Will AIFF accept the new conditions of FSTL? Will there be ice in 2026? Krishna, I still don't know what the conditions are. Everybody seems to know the conditions. I don't think I know the conditions. So therefore, I can't comment on it. And I don't know if there will be an ISL because the ISL, if the AFF Reliance issue needs to be sorted in the next 8 to 10 weeks. Because, yeah. Why would AFC refs would play against India? Like, what would that achieve then? And nothing in Asia except a disappointment, a child that no one wants to claim. Well, that's harsh. I watched last night's Madrid derby. Sometimes VR is quite sketchy. Akash, that's what I'm saying. If fans in Indian football are saying that VR is going to be the savior of Indian football, then I would ask the question is, do you really believe that and do you really think so? Because to me, VR is nice to have, good to have. But yesterday night, VR stepped in a situation where at least I, from the video footage that I saw, could have never said that that ball was touched or not touched by the player. I don't know. I don't know if you can say that, but I can't tell you if Julian Alvarez touched the ball twice. What went wrong with Ishan Pandita? Rishabh, wrong decisions of transfers and injuries. Just having a grassroots program for the sake of it and unable to produce even decent bowler is not your development. Yeah, whatever. I think Ivan is a brilliant coach. It's just the Blasters that have held him back. He's actually good in foreign leagues. Is it? I don't think so. I think the Blasters is one of his biggest successes. And after that BFC game of walking off, for me, it's a non-starter, right? Luna, Noah, and 11 players must leave this season. Their absence affect the club. Pradeep, let's see. I mean, again, Arjun Luna had his time. And so therefore, yeah, I think that his time is up. Noah can be an influential player, but sometimes selfish. And then the others, one has to wait and see. I think the Blasters need a rebuild to some extent. Vikas Lungam has already been signed for the new season. Let's wait and see. I meant the second slot. Yeah, the second slot goes to the Super Cup winners. So the Super Cup winner gets the slot. There is no slot for the Cup winners of, because we are one of few countries around the world who have these kind of competitions, and that could have, theoretically, if you have a third or fourth or fifth slot, then maybe you can talk about it. Ivan has a natural aura. I really liked him. Okay, Akash. Do you think Kian going to Chennai FC was a mistake? He was at least a backup for Mohun Bagan at CFC. He was a bench warmer. So Robert at Mohun Bagan, he was also a bench warmer. He wasn't. He played, I think, more at CFC than he played at Mohun Bagan. Yeah, he's not progressed. The problem is, even more than Kian, I think Gurkirat, for example, a lot of us expected from Gurkirat. Gurkirat played even less. So therefore, that's a problem that these Indian players have when they go to, other teams, and yeah, it hasn't helped. So Kian, to me, as this generation, is potentially the best footballer. Potentially, I'm saying, right? And that is the problem. Potentially, he's the best footballer, but he's not shown it. There is this term, right, for Bayern's luck. I don't remember that, but it's hell of a luck. Schalke in 2000 lost the title. Dortmund by far is the biggest victim of it. Rishabh, I think there are bigger victims of the Bayern luck factor, but people say. Schalke, yes, in 2001, already celebrating the league, and then Bayern actually won it. Yeah. What's your opinion of Lal, Byakhnia, and David? Are they worth to wear national team jersey in future? Bhaskar, future, who knows? I go back and say the example of Sunil Chhetri. If you had asked me in 2004, do I think that Sunil Chhetri will be an Indian national team player? I would have surely said unlikely, right? If you asked me in 2004. And then Sunil developed, Sunil evolved, and therefore these guys have to work hard on themselves. At the moment, I don't think so. David is, of course, closer than Byakhnia, but he needs to physically man up, and he needs to play regularly, Yeah. Does AFC has any role between AIFF and F still? None, Akash. Nothing at all. It's an internal Indian football matter. Atletico really outplayed Real Madrid. Feel bad for El Cholo. Yeah, Akash, so I just quickly have to get up. To me, that is the thing, right? Real Madrid has this aura in the Champions League. They get it done somehow again and again and again over the years, which is insane. To me, it is insane that what Real Madrid has achieved in the Champions League. And this was another example, right? If you look back at many championship wins over the years, right? There are a lot of matches where you would have said the other team deserved it more, and they still have made it. So that's why the aura that Real Madrid built around them, and yesterday was, it was heartbreak, right? And think about it, even that Antonio Rudiger shot on the penalty shootout with Oblak, he had his hand to it, but it still goes in, right? That is Real Madrid to you. And therefore, yeah, bad luck to Atleti, but they will come back, and maybe one day Diego Simeone will celebrate beating Real Madrid in the Champions League, and let's see if we see that day or not. But it's crazy to think what has happened, what has not happened. But this was again a crazy round of football in the Champions League, right? Liverpool losing to Paris Saint-Germain, Dortmund beating Lille, coming back from 1 goal down. Yeah, a lot of these crazy ones to see. It's funny how Simeone played haram ball for 120 minutes, succeed, but couldn't substitute good penalty takers. I think he should have part ways. He's been there. Why should he part ways, Aditya? He stands for a certain philosophy of Atletico Madrid, and he is Atletico Madrid to a certain extent, so why should he leave? Many people are saying Imami is going to leave East Bengal. Isn't there a stake of East Bengal? Who will buy their stakes? Akash, like with Shree Cement, they most probably would build a new entity again. Create a new entity. What happened with Hitesh Sharma in Mumbai City? We didn't see him in the entire season. Ruturaj, he was injured initially, and he couldn't convince his way into the team. I thought, if he was in the form that he had under Manolo 3 seasons back, I think, could have been a candidate. AIFF is private or government body? Any grant from sports ministry, and if FIFA gives grant, where are those money gone? AIFF is a independent entity. It's not a government body. So yeah, they get grants from FIFA and from FIFA, AFC, and from the government. The government grants, I think, have nearly dried up. And those monies are part of the budget that we talk about, the 120 crores. One thing to notice that the quality of ISL is such that even overseas players degrade in quality after playing for a few years. Luna, Petratos, Diamantakos are some decent examples. Very well said, Zorawa. I think foreigner players ignore their fitness after coming to ISL. Petratos clearly fat in the beginning of the season. I don't think it is about physical fitness. I think they don't push themselves that much, So that's the thing. Do you think if Indian striker plays in I-League, would Manolo choose them for national team? Mashkar, I don't think he should. Because the standard of the I-League and the standard of international football is, I-League is here, national football is here, right? So that comparison to me doesn't work. I think the problem of this is not money, it's AIFF middlemen and Kalyan Chaube. Okay, if you think so. Sahil Bhatt must ask the club for loan transfer. I don't think Imran Bangam will do any good for his career at this age. He plays CFL for the club, but that will do him no good. Yeah, and I think Sumit Rathi should be a warning, right, to everyone. Yeah, what Aditya Atletico is there because Simon. Exactly, bro. My thinking. Does the Kerala Blasters' new CEO have the ability to bring about change? Pradeep, theoretically, yes. He'll have to prove it. Being a Dortmund fan is cruel, says Roshan. You think a season bad Champions League makes you think everything is fine. Yeah, that's the dangerous thing, right? Borussia Dortmund is a good example. Another terrible. I mean, last season they thought was bad, finishing fifth, but this season looks even worse. And then in the Champions League and Dortmund, Barcelona, I wouldn't count Borussia Dortmund out of that tie. I never got how Real Madrid got it done. For Champions League, there were so many bad referee decisions over the years, but you can't always blame it, right? I can, you can, we can, Dortmund is a feeder club, nothing else. Oh, Aditya, no, Borussia Dortmund is anything but just a feeder club because it also preys on smaller teams in the Bundesliga and gets their players, right? So therefore, they're one of the biggest teams in the world, and yeah. But as I would say, as someone who supports Bayern Munich, they're just smaller than Bayern Munich. Once Imami leaves, wonder what the new investor will do regarding exorbitant salaries they have paid to players like Anwar. Zorawar, is there someone who would willingly invest into East Bengal? It would be the fourth entity since Quest came in, right? In 2018, I think it was. And to me, it's, I don't know. I don't know where this whole journey is going at the moment, but difficult. Hitesh Sharma to me looks like a poor attitude. I've seen him from stands, the way he used to interact with fans, acted like he's a regular starter. Okay, interesting, Rishabh. Reason of Real Madrid, UCL aura. Is it aura or is it something else? Dheeraj Singh, another promising player, now on bench. He has to look for teams where he will get game time. Very, very true. Ochu, there is a whole bunch of players across this ISL who actually need to sort their career out. We've spoken about Dheeraj, Suhail Bhatt was mentioned. Kian Nasiri has been mentioned. That's the thing. I just hope ISL continue to implement 2 club promotion, 1 relegation. Akash, I think relegation, promotion, doesn't work. You've grown the league. I would actually think that it's better to have a 10-team league. To have a 10-team league and then have proper competition rather than a bigger league, because we're not getting any further with this at the moment. Mumbai City FC is also wasting Yama Nikum. Neither are they loaning him out. They did last year. Played at Inter Kashi. They wanted to keep him, wanted to push him in the first team. Played yeah, a few minutes at all. Sat and again, and even he has not been able to push the limits higher, right? Pushing the Changtes, the Vikrams, the Bipins, right? Anyone would rather put money in small ISL clubs instead of East Bengal. Aditya, who's putting in money, right? East Bengal at least, yeah. Um, your thoughts about the Atletico Madrid VR decision? I would say scandalous. I think I'm with Simeone on that. I don't know how the VR sees that the guy is actually touching the ball. I don't know. And some from Mona to list, yeah, Miral. That as I said, there are tons of players who are sitting on the benches. East will probably go to Mamata bench to get the investor as usual. Yeah, Zoravar, that's the reality. Sunil Chetri scoring goal on return. Chetan, yes, I would like that to happen. I would really like that to happen. East Bengal management don't give decision-taking power to the investors. Yeah, part of the problem. Your take on Subhashish Bose for Golden Ball, Indian leading such high-profile team, handling huge fan base pressure, performing as left back when most explicit him of scoring goals and assists. Oh, Prashanto. If Subhash, yeah, I'd say it. If Subhashish Bose becomes the Golden Ball winner, then it's really time to shut down the ISL. But I don't, all these factors are nice, right? But that is not a reason for someone to get a golden ball to be the best player in the league. And to me, whatever happens in the playoffs, it has to be Aladin Azare. 100% with that track record of goal scoring and also assist, it can only be. If it's sad that Mohamed Yassir still didn't make it to national team, also had injury problems, not a regular at FC Goa. Younger players are moving past him like Bryson. Mohamed Yassir next season has to man up. What's your thought about Northeast United recent plans of starting a residential academy at the initials? Mashkar, it's good. It's since Manda Tamane is there, they're trying to do not. Uh, uh, you know, um, let's see what they can do. Okay, fine. Like Indian players are being benched. What can we do? Spot reservation would degrade the team. Aditya, the players for themselves need to decide what is their long-term plan, and for them, the main problem is money, right? The main thing. It's not about enhancing your career. Never rated him, to be honest. Yeah. Where is Chenchu, the Bhutanese, these days? Good question. I think, is he back in Bhutan or is he somewhere else in Asia? Wasn't giving Srishaman the control that time would have been the best decision. I would think till now they would make a good team, but everything is speculation. Blue, they also made some horrendous decisions, if I remember right. I will not choose to watch a closed league. Okay, Akash. Promotion and relegation are part of AFC rules and please, I don't want to see I-League clubs in AFC competition. If they have planned to do that, then please shut the Indian football whole thing. No. Who says promotion and relegation are part of AFC rules? Promotion and relegation is on you. The great Sunil Chetri is back to save us from football giants like Bangladesh and Maldives. I'll stay silent as I don't want any controversy today. Aditya, to me, if you like him or not, Sunil has uh, achieved things for us, which he otherwise would not have. So give him the credit for that. Promotion relegation isn't AFC rule. Australia doesn't have relegation, for example, and they don't even have promotion, Blue. Australia is a closed league. But Blue, that's the reason promotion was introduced in 2019. No, it wasn't. It was introduced 2 years ago. And Aditya, the recommendations from the roadmap from FIFA AFC, I've written it, right? So so I can try and explain it to you. These are all recommendations of trying to strengthen the league structure in Indian football. Now the point is that these were recommendations. These were not said as you have to do it, right? Therefore, I think promotion relegations, yeah. What's your opinion on Dipendo being used as centre back? I think given his height and physical attributes, he would do better as side backs rather than centre, especially against foreign strikers in ISL. Meanwhile, the point is, Mohun Bagan, I think, didn't have any options after Anwar Ali left. So, um, to me, I understand your thought process, but it is, I think, he will have to fit in wherever the club thinks he can be useful. He's played well as a centre back. He's played well as a right back as well. So let's see what his long term position will be. But I think as right back or left back, does he have that speed to move up the flanks? I think he's more of a centre back. Chencho joined Lalitpur together with Simon Grayson for Nepal Super League. Interesting, Roshan. Interesting. It's like I was reading today in Germany that the former FC Cologne player, Concielo, a French player, has actually joined one of the teams as well in that league. In my opinion, players' salaries need to be regulated. It's F up for everyone to be it clubs' finances on average Indian player mentality who doesn't want to take risk or punch above his weight. Yeah, Rishabh, very well said. David Diamantakos scored equally 4 goals this season in ISL, although David get less amount of time to play, but still Oscar doesn't rely on him much. Why Indian strikers not always get much time? So Kishore, a bad Diamantakos, and a top David, and you're the coach of a team. Who would you start? I hope you can answer your own question. So think about yesterday's situation in which Diamantakos beats those 3 defenders and gets somewhat into close to a goal scoring opportunity. Let's put it this way. Do you think David could have done the same against those Turkmen defenders? Just asking. So just think that if an Indian striker plays or starts, he has to be better than whoever is playing in that position. Yeah, I was working for AFC and FIFA on that. Why don't you work for AIFF now? Hannibal, how, why, given the scenario, I'm not going to run, after something, as I always say, I said to ISL clubs, so if the AIFF wants me to work for them, let them approach me. If you were AIFF president now in current situation, what would you have done to deal with this lack of striker? So now I would have looked at trying to understand what my problems are where. And there is no short-term solution to this, except, I guess, PIOs. So I would most probably, that's that's the reality. Okay, if we don't do the relegation thing, but let's keep the promotion going. I don't want Indian clubs to rot in the hellhole called I-League. Yes, people watch ISL due to money pump, but they watch at least. Is it? Okay. I don't know, but I don't think anyone watches I-League, not even one in Gokulam, Kerala. SC matches, therefore, SC and Churchills forget about if there's host sitting on benches, only real Kashmir and Lajong SC. Yeah, but I think promotion is a nice thing to have, but yeah, you have to afford it. Ochit says, my dad used to say in the late 90s, if you pay an Indian player X times more, will his standard improve by X times? This is when the National League started and the salary started increasing. Very well said. I remember at that time, for the first time, players were earning in lakhs, right? And I remember, I think JCT 1995 was the first team to offer 1 lakh plus salary to a player. Has the standard gone up? We were talking about lakhs, right? Now, the top players are earning 4 crores. From a lakh to 400 lakhs. Has the standard improved by 400 times? By far not. So Uchut, your late father was very, 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 very right. What's the realistic outcome of charges on Man City in your opinion? Rishabh, I've read about it a lot, but I don't understand the English system. City are fighting with whatever they have, and in some cases I think they've been given right. Again, if we're going to charge City, then we have to look at all these sponsorship deals that are there, right? So, for example, if I look at Indian standards, can Mr. Goenka charge a figure X from his own company CAC? Right? And that's the problem. Celis and that Lal Chunga ruined East Bengal matches. What was even Celis doing? Like, brother, I know you are a new signing, but at least perform. Aditya, the whole team. You can single out Lal Chunga for the red card, but I think the whole team, in regard to performance, was an issue. Messi Boli gave them a little bit of quality towards the end of the season, but yeah. Well, that's unfair to the I-League clubs. If they stop promotions, then the clubs are wasting money. Then, Akash, they're wasting money anyway, right? If we want to talk about salaries and lowering salaries, then we don't only talk about the ISL. We should talk about it in the I-League and the I-League 2 and the I-League 3 and the CFL, right? So, to be honest, I-League is much more even than ISL. Yeah, but why is it even? Have you asked yourself that? Have you watched in the recent years matches in I-League 2? In I-League, the quality of foreigner goes down. In I-League 2, it gets even worse because you don't have foreigners. I think MLS is also a closed league. Yeah, Major League Soccer is a closed league. The Canadian Premier League is a closed league. So, yeah. I believe more than AIFF. Okay. You guys really think people still care about those 115 charges, Man City, or you never go? Yeah, they do care in England. Fun fact, football youngster in ISL get paid more than a young player in IPL. And that is your start of your problem. What if we merge I-League, I-League 2, I-League 3 and make a national league as our second tier? Aditya, but I-League, I-League 2, I-League 3 are national leagues. Why merge them? What's your value add? What's your value gain? You have 12 teams in the I-League. You've got 9 in I-League 2 and you've got 25 in I-League 3. So what's our lower division players do? Stop playing? Why should they stop playing? Gokulam Kerala won the title twice and spent a lot of money and didn't get promoted. So what's the issue? I don't get that. And then they're earning money. They're earning too much money. This is the part of the problem of the Indian system. Anwar has been frequently injured in the last 2 seasons. It has cost the individual teams heavily. Okay. I-League 2 looks pretty clear this season. Diamond Harbour FC and Chanmari FC leading. Looks like it, Roshan. The question with Chanmari is if Chanmari lose 2-3 times, does it give an opportunity to Sporting Club, the Goa and FC Bangalore United to maybe close in towards the end? They started off very, very well, but let's see. Diamond Harbour FC didn't lose a single game. Yep, Akash. Till last year, there was a cricketer who was playing in Indian national cricket was paid just 50 lakhs in IPL. Yeah. For 50 lakhs, I think most of the ISL players would get up. In 2 years' time, US might have a rival league to MLS, so sort of 2 top-tier leagues, but good for local talents. Yeah, the USL is trying to fight with them. How can we identify if a league is good or bad? Angry Birds, difficult to make that assumption, I guess, if a league is good or if a league is bad. To me, it's the quality of the league, it's the quality of the game, it's the quality of the competition which makes it a good or a bad league, right? Right, more than 1 hour and 30 minutes. If you haven't so far do leave a like behind. Do share it with other people. 14 likes so far for the day. And if you want to come back for regular content, do subscribe to the channel. 2,362 people at the moment, and do watch the short videos that I make on a regular basis. Did something yesterday evening on Arkatak eliminating East Bengal, and then AIFF Reliance's relationship, Indian striker Meghalaya as soon as come back, other things. Do watch it. In my opinion, Indian players' quality in ISL League is the same. I don't find any difference. It's just with good foreigners. Some of them might look good and they'll have their moments. Rushabh, watch I-League matches and then you will realize. I thought I watched Interkashi versus Gokulam Kerala. Oh, that was, it was a close game and Interkashi won 3-2. But sometimes that football is tough to watch, and the ISL is not easy to watch, but it isn't. Yeah, and I said I'm watching in top I-League game. I think at least Gokulam Kerala and Kerala Blasters Derby could bring more fans. If we stop promotion relegation, then what? How are we supposed to expand football? It's going to be locked. Aditya, Gokulam Kerala had their best phase in regard to fans, 7-8 years ago? There is Gokulam Kerala plays in front of a nearly empty stadium, right? So none of these I-League clubs that we talk about bring in those numbers that would make a massive difference. Sorry to say, do you feel fans of under 24th ranked nation have predicted to judge Molina's coaching style, question his game plan, even who are involved in transforming of Spanish football? Prashanto, very, very, very valid question. And it's not just in Molina, but I think we could, if you want, we can generalize this question, right? That are Indian fans in a position to really judge those things? A lot of people have a lot of strong opinions. We see it here also. People think they know and understand everything what is happening, and I think there is 5%, that what is really out, what is happening in Indian football. So most of the stuff that happens in Indian football, people don't even know about. If they stop promotion, they made more and more leagues will emerge like SLK and eventually kill ISL. SLK is not killing ISL. Who says that? SLK itself will most probably not see a second season. Someone like Jitin MS, I think he'll end up in Gokulam Kerala in a season or two. Let's see. We've seen a lot of those, no? Eric Benny's and others as well. FSTL lost huge money, and actually from ISL, AIFF made good money. Actually, I think 15 crore officers should work in a different way with the AIFF. Okay, Moby. I don't get that everyone talks about fans and stuff, but what are fans financially contributing? Most don't buy official merch. Blue, that's the problem. Indian football fans have a big opinion, and are they willing? I remember people saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm paying 19 rupees to watch fan code or spending money on SSCN." Small things. Forget the merch. The merch part is, one thing. Indian football fans want to have a say on what's happening and want to get involved. And sorry, let me just quickly. To me, that's the problem. The Indian football fan has an opinion on everything, but if you ask him to spend even 5 rupees, he's not willing to do that. That's the problem. Or to say, oh, you know what? When people say, oh, you know what? I to go to matches, this, that, everything. I say whenever I can, I go to watch matches. I remember I flew to Kolkata and Interkashi was playing Gokulam. I landed in the afternoon, had a shower and got picked up and then drove to Kalani to watch a football game. Indian football fans' commitment is to talk. Indian football fans' commitment is to give gyan. Indian football fan commitment is not to spend money and to support their teams, because Indian football fans think they know better than the system. That is our biggest problem. The Indian football fans are part of the problem. Sorry to say that, guys. Sorry, nothing personal, but that is my feeling. Indian football fans are part of our stakeholder. What have Indian football fans contributed to the growth of Indian football? Right? I know what I've done. I know what I've created over the last 27 years. It is not what I would have liked, but I know what I've tried. And the system has stopped most of the things. The system has blocked most of the things. So therefore, I think every fan should question himself or herself if are they willing to commit to say, listen, I am willing to travel to watch a match XYZ of my team or even local teams. You don't have to go to the ISL. You don't have to go to the I-League. Go to local games. Are people willing to do that? And that to me is, I think, the biggest challenge in India and Indian football. If fans are willing to make that commitment, or everyone is like, oh, we know what is happening. This whole AIFF FSDL is a very good example. Everybody seems to know what is happening. And I can tell you from knowledge that most of the people who are telling you, oh, this is happening, that is happening, don't even know what has happened. That is the reality of things, which really annoys me. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody thinks they know. Nobody does it. Shachi AIFF is planning for a possible league like SLK. Sikkim and Nagaland came out of the Super Leagues. ISL eventually lost its positions. Akash, SLK failed, right? Shachi, let Shachi do its things first and then take the next step. Sikkim and Nagaland, what kind of an influence does it have on the ISL? Right? You're talking about two states, which are on the fringes of Indian football. So, for Sikkim to have such a league, for Nagaland to have such a league, it's important to grow football because they don't have a proper local league. That's the reality. So, these super leagues, as bad as the ISL can get, these super leagues are not going to be replacing the ISL. What happened to Lachanunga? At least last year he was in the promotion different. This year was the worst. Zoravar, I said that under Stephen. I saw him for Srini Deccan in the I-League. I was doing expert commentary in the I-League. And to me, he was always worth at least 2-3 mistakes at Srini Deccan. And that is, that's the reality. And this is a level which is most probably one level too high for him. Because you see, he's trying to catch up with people all the time. Probably saw a clip of Joby Justin playing local matches in Bengal. Sad how players lose their way in a few years' time. Yeah, that's. But Akash says Joby Justin will probably play I-League 2025-26 with Diamond Harbour. If I'm coach, I would sit Diamantopoulos in bench, start with David because the hungerness of goal scoring is clear, seen in him like Messi. Amount of time Diamantopoulos got, David would score more goals. Okay, sure. And sorry, with all respect, that's why you're not a coach. You just prove why you're not a coach. Anyone who says that does not understand. Sorry, I'm really in the mood today to really call out things. Then people don't know what they're talking about. Speak to an Oscar. Speak to even a Quadrat before that. Right? We've had a lot of occasions where coaches had the option of putting in Indian strikers and they didn't put it because they didn't trust the players. Right? And against whom has David scored? How has he scored? When did he score? Just look at those things. I saw him for 90 minutes against Mohun Bagan Supergiant. He was bodied by Tom Aldred and by Alberto Rodriguez. It was shameful the way that he was trying to be a striker, be a number 9. Right? So that is the player you want to play at East Bengal. That's the player you want to play for India. I would rather recall Baichung Bhutia. Most probably I would call out people from their graves to play for us because he's not ready to play at that level. If David wants to go up to be a regular player, he has to do a lot of work. And as I said today, to me, Sunil Chhetri is my best example. Sunil Chhetri in 2004, if you'd asked me, I would have never said that Sunil Chhetri will go on to play for India. But Sunil Chhetri has worked hard on himself to get to the level that, and he's faced hardships. Right? When he left Mohun Bagan, he was on the verge of saying, you know what? I'm ending my career. At JCT, he went with Grenady. He resurrected his career. He went to Kansas and realized, I'm not making it MLS. He tried at Sporting Lisbon. At Sporting Lisbon, they said, you're the India captain? Ha ha. They laughed about him, about his standard of football. At Sporting Lisbon B. We're not talking Sporting Lisbon A. We're talking about Sporting Lisbon B. That guy has worked his way up. Right? So, if David, I wish David, all the other players, how can it be that Sunil Chhetri today in the national team is the player with the best working ethics? These players need to step up. Okay, but how do we expand football in India? How will we bring football to every state? Is football in India meant to be only locked in Kerala, Goa, Northeast and Bengal? Aditya, first of all, do we need to take football to all states? Is that possible? Ask yourself that question. India is too big. Focus on the areas where you can grow football. Even in Bengal, football is not growing at the moment. In Kerala, it is not growing. In Goa, it is not growing. In parts of the Northeast, it is growing, right? So that's the reality. That is the reality. So I don't need to go to Rajasthan and to Gujarat and to Madhya Pradesh to try and do something. You could, right? That's why I always say my friends at Interkashi, I have huge respect for them to try and grow the game in Uttar Pradesh. And they're facing so many problems that I think if they're honest to themselves, they would most probably think, why did we do this? Most probably they could have named it something else and played somewhere else where there's some football tradition. But they're trying. So I wish and I hope that they succeed because it's important for Indian football. To be honest, Molina already had an established system to benefit from, whereas in India, there is no system. Yeah, but he still brought in players, and I say Tom Alderweireld and Alberto Nogueira, Alberto Rodriguez, those are the two players. Lal was good as centre back, sometimes scuffling someone's positioning and affect his gameplay too much. But he's not a centre back. He is a wing back. That's the first problem. He's even worse as a centre back. Players should develop through club academies and not through national team. Clubs must have proper youth academies to develop players can which is to AIFF clubs. They exist, Bobby. They exist. This is what you're saying is right. Right? Looking at the condition of AIFF, I don't think India gonna do anything good in football in 100 years. Best thing is to allow players might help us then. Anything good at football? Yeah. But yeah. Aditya, I don't need to calm down. If I hear some of the stuff which is just ridiculous, sometimes I'm fine with it. But sometimes you have to call it out. People think they know, and sorry, even you are saying some of the stuff which I say, sorry, you don't know. You don't even know 5% of what you need to know to be able to talk about the things that you sometimes talk about. Sorry to say that. Right? This is the reality. That is the reality that you guys are discussing things sometimes where you don't even know. Right? Isn't it around the world, you don't perform, you end up in lower division, even if you have a 14-team league, which lacks quality as of now, but these players will be replaced constantly, right? Rushabh, yes, normally yes, but where is the talent to push out those players? Isn't that the problem? My concern is under 17 has always been over the last 20, let's take out the last 2-3 years. Before that, over 2 decades, we had players coming through, especially in the days of the Tata Football Academy, and then they went on, then they replaced players. But I'm not seeing players coming up from the bottom to the top who are replacing the players. That's our biggest problem, right? So that's the reality. Indian football fans are similar to other Indian sports fans, especially cricket. Everyone wants result. If you don't deliver, mass boycott will start. Very well said, Zorawar. That's a psyche thing in Indian sports. I at least think. I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's what I think. Indians are very bad in supporting teams, clubs, even the national teams when they don't win. Right? I remember, India, was it 2007? I was working in the Caribbean. India lost, I think, in some I don't know what kind of World Cup they lost 2007 in the Caribbean, right? I think they lost to Bangladesh. And I was sitting there in the Caribbean and, Indian cricket fans, I will not watch cricket anymore, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the mentality. I have Malu friends and colleagues, most of them know about SLK. Akash, knowing about the SLK, does it mean that the SLK is a success? Right? It is, let me be honest, it has not worked. Whatever they're telling you, it has not worked. And there is doubts about its future. What is SLK? Super League Kerala or Kerala Super League is something. They themselves create the biggest disaster. Kerala Super League, KSL, and then you make it SLK. Ronaldo escape football bad for a professional player? Angry Birds, yes, I would say that. But if he's looking at the money side of things, most probably it's good for him, right? That's sometimes the catch situation, right? The catch 22 is like, am I playing football to try and get to a certain level and try and be successful, or am I trying to play football because I want to earn money, right? And in India, I very often see that players are playing for money. Indian football fans, empty vessels sound more hard blue, but yes, sorry to say that, right? Somehow Nora Fernandez was best performing goalkeeper for Gavas FC. And that says a lot, right? Sachin Suresh last season looked like could be going on to maybe be part of the group of goalkeepers to be around the national team. I paid for SSC and I don't mind to pay for the official merchandise, but the clubs need to promote their stuffs more. I bought CFC jersey 2000 because I liked it. I had to search for at least 1 hour for the link. Akash, great that you did it, that you do that, but you are not the typical Indian football fan, you know. So for me, I don't know where you're looking for it, because I think I would think I know where I would find the stuff from CFC or from other teams as well. But for the clubs, the merchandising part is not something which is a big revenue earner. So they don't bother that much about it. That is part of the problem. Is Lalchununga scared that he will be replaced in East Bengal? No, even if he's replaced, he's a bench player, right? He still gets a salary. Didn't Justin quit his government job? Does he have it back? Rishabh, I don't know if he has it back or not. The issue with David is his physique. He will get sandwiched by centre back almost every game. Yeah, by smart, and look at the way that the Arkadak defenders were playing yesterday. David would have had no chance because they would have physically outmuscled him. If you're smart enough, David is relatively easy to take care of, right? And see against the teams that he scored. He scored mostly against Indian defenders. Just watch it. And that to me is the summary of where he stands. He's still an I-League player. And see how many matches he played last season at Mohammedan Sporting as well. So he's not even an I-League regular. Search for Punjab merchandise will take at least 10 minutes to find website. Yeah, but that is something, yeah. Seriously, did actually laugh at Chetas? Yeah, of course. About his standard. Because they realized that when he was brought in, it was fanfare, the Portuguese ambassador, and this and that, and everything happened in Delhi, and then Sunil turns up and they realize, okay, this 16-year-old Portuguese strikers are better than Sunil. Sad reality. Oh no, I just understand that Samir Al-Jaber, big Saudi star, had similar experience like Swinchit report when he went to England. Yes, he was at Wolves, if I'm not wrong. Not easy. And for a Saudi, it's even more difficult than for an Indian. There was nothing in Odisha before Odisha came, and we finally see a scope for football on that. I think football needs to come to every state. Aditya, if the government tomorrow says they will not support it, Odisha FC will go. Tata bye-bye. How sustainable, how long-term is that? Right? You've created something, great. Infrastructure is there. But if the financial side is not taken care of, that entity is gone in 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes, it's gone in 60 seconds. Right? And that is a danger which is there because they're talking to other state or to other areas to think about what's the long-term impact. So therefore, nice. I think even cricket is not popular or most of the played game in every single state. Leave that state to its FAs. We should be focused on whatever football states we have and who are willing to develop it. Rishabh, that is the point. That is my point. That even a state like Bengal, the IFA is not doing what it's supposed to do. Right? They should be doing more across the state. They focus on Kolkata and its suburbs. Right? Mizoram is doing it right. Meghalaya, that's why I made a few videos on that topic, that Meghalaya has been now doing the right things. The government has done a lot of things right. That's why, Conrad Sangma's government has to be complimented. But is Kerala doing the things right? Is Maharashtra doing things right? Is Karnataka doing things right? No. Even today, Mohun Bagan fans argue about Molina Habas, though I guess we will never know why Habas didn't get extension. Blue, I think it's very clear why Habas didn't get extension. I think if you If you go dig a little deeper, you will get to know that why Habas no longer is the coach of Mohun Bagan. Or now that I sometimes feel for the kids in my local, they dribble so brilliantly, but like the day of passing at the right time, always trying to be the main man. This mentality needs to be changed. Angry Birds, very well said, and this is we have it in the ISL as well. That's why I've always said, PV Vishnu, is a good example. Nice dribblings, but he doesn't know when to pass, and that is because these kids never realize, use your brains and try to do it better the next time. This is one thing which I don't understand with Indian footballers. How can I do the same mistake again and again and again, year after year after year after year? That's a huge concern in my opinion, right? That you're unable to change those things. Having said it earlier that AIFF should focus on states where football is already popular, football is in cricket to have a countrywide popularity if the funding and effort is concentrated on Bengal, Kerala, Northeast will be enough to produce decent players. Yeah, maybe. Okay, old man, I will disagree with you. We need to take football to every state in India. Just look at Odisha, how slowly it's growing. Odisha FC brought interest in football. Odisha FA qualify Santosh. But is it really sustainable, Aditya? The growth of Odisha football. The Odisha FA has been trying to do stuff for the last 15 years, right? They've been doing things. Especially on the women's side, they've done a lot of positive things. But is it really there? I don't know. Relying on 40-year-old Chetri says a lot about our progress in the past 20 years or so. Simon, yeah? It says a lot about Indian football and where we stand. Yeah. When I was considering Chetri dependable, I'm worried about women's team too. The Pink Ladies Cup and Mr. Proper Striker like Bala Devi. Very well said, Roshan. And what I felt with the Indian women's team is, you correct me, you watch it more, lack of leadership. Are you satisfied with the current Indian footballing pyramid of leagues? What changes could be made? Your thoughts? Simon, overall, the structure is right. With ISL, I-League, I-League 2, I-League 3, and then the local leagues. The I-League 3, I think I would reform and make it into a sort of a zonal league or something of that sort. But otherwise, the structure overall is right. It's just that the pathway needs to be clear and how many teams are playing at what levels. Because we are I-League 2 without foreigners, sometimes tough to watch. What if you reduce the number of foreigners in I-League? Force measures for clubs to have more U23, 19, 70 players in their squad. Rushabh has been tried. Then the clubs say, do I have to play the under 21 player for 90 minutes or can I play him for 15 minutes and sub him off? Has been done. Weird, SLK flopped. Zorawar, just tell me, has it been a success? Would you say that the SLK has been a success? Just asking. Currently, Mohun Bagan sub-junior, junior, and U17 was shaping well. A lot of local players, national management by calling them at rival for shield celebration. Yeah, but that's nice. How many of these players will make it to the top? That's the question. If these coaches don't rely on Indian strikers, when there will be next year, who will score for Indian national team when you are seeing your so-called foreigners fail to score? Kishore, the job of a club coach is to win, right? And it is whatever coaches tell you, the development of players is a byproduct. Punjab FC now selling that, we have focused on our youth and given our youth a chance. And I know the system a little bit. So, they're not playing the youth because they wanted to play the youth. Punjab FC has played the youth because they had injuries and their bench is weak. Right? Reality. Facts. Whatever they sell you. And an Indian striker who wants to play has to be better than the foreigner who's on the field. Example, Sunil Chetri. Example, to some extent, even though playing on the wing, Irfan Yadwad has made his position place, right? That is the only way. I'm not making something by playing an Indian striker. Because my Diamantakos, as bad as he is, because he's not scoring goals, but Diamantakos is something I can bounce the ball off. And Mumbai City FC to me is the best example. Karelis has been abused, there's that, everything. Against BFC, Mumbai City won despite an unfit Karelis in that position, was holding the ball, his positioning was there, he played the pass, he got the penalty. And you wouldn't, and Ayush Chikara, who was your B option, it would not have happened. Sorry to say that. That's the reality. Regarding spread of football, can refocus on states like Punjab, Delhi, and Northeast. Northeast, the focus is there. I think the focus is shifting to newer states. Let's put this: Arunachal, there's a certain focus. Nagaland, there is a new focus. Meghalaya is doing again more than they've done in the past. Punjab has had its focus. You've always had some level of focus with JCT there in the past. Now Punjab FC also putting some focus on there. So that's there. And Delhi, Delhi could be, I think you need to, Maharashtra needs to do more. Mumbai, Pune need to do more. Bangalore, Karnataka needs to do more. Hyderabad needs to do more. So there are a lot of centers in there. There used to be a player in my camp who used to dribble so much that my coaches got fed up with him. Yeah. And I've seen that, right? I know we must have had some conflict with Nina, but was it about players? No, that was something else. I call it football IQ, which is 0 for majority Indian football. Harsh, very harsh. Because, so Rahul, you're most probably right. It's part of the problem. It's part of a problem, and we're not getting there where I would like us to be. Right? That's my concern. State thing is Odisha state champion don't go to I-League 3. Akash, if the Football Association of Odisha, not only them, but there are a few states who are not sending teams to the I-League 3 at the moment. Akash Karthik Handal is in Diamond Harbour FC on loan. Okay. It's actually a football style completely predictable towards Manisha. She's also the leading figure, but she's not a Samba. Savitra Bhandari, for example. Yeah. Very, very true, Roshan. The fact is, majority youngsters who are given chance in ISL not due to their quality, but because the manager doesn't have any option. Harsh, but true, Zorawar. Very, very true. You pick out one or two players, PK Banerjee famously said Indian football is the dumping ground of substandard African footballers. With the ISL, at least the standard has improved. Yeah, PK has a point, but I would even go to the extent of saying, you know what, there's a different issue in there that that he has. What has he done to produce players in his time as manager and coach? Would be my question to him, right? So therefore, these are all issues which are there. And I mean, we had even foreigners from Africa playing who were not even footballers. They were students. Chima Okeri, one of the biggest success stories, was not even a football player. He came to study to India and played football for his university and then got picked up by Mohammedan. So therefore, these are very true. So that's very, very, very good. So Ravar is already saying Gute Nacht, good night. Yeah, let's slowly come to an end. It is close to midnight in India. I think this says Indian football looks like to me like a drug addict who's trying to come back to normalcy, not still on the path to progress, but to normalcy. Harsh one. But these are realities, guys. If you like it or not, these are realities, and the problems are there. I would love to talk about different things, that things are going in the right direction, that we're talking about, these are things which are doing well. But at the moment, I think that's very difficult with our pathway, right? We are in a very, very tricky situation. And I think, I don't know. And Ochut says, but Chidi, Ranti, Odafa were pretty good. I think, Ochut, that was the second, maybe third generation of African footballers who came over. Orafa, Ranti, and Chidi Ede, great strikers. And now, of course, yes, through the ISL, we have focused more on Europeans and Australians and South Americans. So that has improved. And over 2 hours, slowly let me come to an end for tonight of this Indian football discussion. No, the thing is, let's hope that things get better. We're getting closer to the India matches. Maldives on the 19th, and then in a friendly and the 25th. I think this is the problem: is you never talk about things, but always hide. No, I don't. Aditya, I talk about things that I can publicly talk about, and there are things which I know which I can, what I can talk about, what I can't talk about, and this is something which you need to understand. But you guys think you know, and again today I thought I need to call it out that people think to know and understand, and that's not the fact. To me, that is a big problem, and knowing is something different. There are a lot of people even working in football who think they know and understand football, and they don't have a bloody clue, and therefore we are where we are, and therefore the whole system needs a reset actually. But is that going to happen? Of course not. So you have to try and work through the system with all the issues where the problems. Minal says Sammy Omolo, yes, even captain Kenya at some time. So yeah, they've been great players. So at the end of this, once more, like, share. As always, thank for your support. If you haven't, do subscribe to the channel as well, and look at the shorter videos as well. I'll be back tomorrow evening with another live, and keep on supporting Indian football, guys. That's the least that I can say, and let's hope that times will be better. Onawa Chaudhary signing off. Good night, everyone.